From my research, I'm telling you, it is way more than likely that Stephen Jones has always had this vision of receiver by committee. We're getting ready to talk about it, and it's pretty unrefutable if you really know how to dissect tea leaves. Stay with this one, because this go paint a real picture. Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. Let's go. So obviously, we've been dealing with this drama with Amari Cooper and all this kind of stuff with the front office and the leaks and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things that a lot of people might see, might not see, is you hear people say hindsight is 2020. But if you saw things way before it happened, that's called foresight, right? And there are some things I was getting wrong, but as I looked at history, caught it up to today, I can really see a lot clearer. I think I have major clear out views on what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys with this receiver by committee. So I want you first to watch West Coast and I discuss this, because this is a show I did in 2019 with West Coast where we was discussing receiver by committee and Cooper. Check this out. This gonna be kind of enlightening. Here we go.
A cheap plug real quick, especially since we was on the topic of snaps.
Shoot.
Just real quick. So I have an article that's out that's on my page. I want y'all to go to it. It's on my page as well as on my website. It's www.bosscowboy.com. It's the most recent article. And so what I actually dig into is how Kellen Moore can improve with less. And I just want to talk about it real quick. So, because we just are kind of talking about snap counts with Whitney and Swam, and they was on averaging around 98% of the snaps when they was in there. I want everybody right now to just take a real quick guess. What do you think Cooper was getting when he was playing between week 8 and week 17? Just take a guess. What do you think his snap count was? And while you're taking that guess, remember Cooper had 725 yards. He averaged 13.7 per catch, and he had 53 receptions. I'm gonna wait on just a couple responses. Y'all taking too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. 80%.
I believe it.
That boy was in 80% of snaps. Now think about this. Guess what your boy Hopkins was in?
He's probably like 94%, 95%, 90. He's high.
99%.
Yeah, he's going to be in the hires. Because I remember when he played against us. But I mean, that that also lets me know. Yeah, that lets me know that boy is in exceptional shape. That boy was that lets me know them dudes are in exceptional shape. Exceptional shape. Because that means the only person that played more than him was the center. I would think the only person that played more than him was the actual center. Because I don't even think the quarterback was at 99, right?
See, I don't even think it have anything to do with exceptional shape.
Yeah.
Because I put all the top receivers in the league from week 16. All of them was in the game over 90%.
I believe
Most of them was in the game over 95%. So what they was really saying to me, West Coast, is that your better offense is basically just leave your weapon on the field.
Yeah.
Leave your weapon. That's why I was saying Kellen Moore can get better with just doing less of them dumb packages.
Yep. And think about the obvious stuff that he said. Like, I think it went over a lot of people's head when he said, man, you can run the same play out of different formations. Duh.
Yes.
Duh.
Yes. So it's like when you look at our upside. Now, I just everybody take a pause and take a bite of what I just said. Cooper has 725 yards in 8 games with only 80% of snaps.
It was, why that was? Because we were still doing wide receiver. Well, bro, like keep it real, bro. Like we still do wide receiver by committee. Like we still did it.
That's the point.
Like we still did it.
Thought we went away from receiver by committee because we got him. We did.
Yeah, we did it. We didn't fully go away from it.
I was like, that son of a Linehan, you sneaky bastard! Like you literally kept doing what didn't work.
And I was wrong. Because what I was doing, I was thinking it was the OC. It's not the OC. Because you seeing the exact same stuff from Scott Linehan that you also seeing with Kellen Moore, which means that it's not coming from them too. It's likely being pushed down as an edict to those guys. Yeah. It's that because you seeing the same thing. So this was us talking about even before Kellen Moore became the OC. And I was saying Kellen Moore can do better just by going away from them dumb packages, by not having your best guy on the field a lot. Yeah. So I'm gonna just kind of show what I was talking about real quick. If you look at 2018 Cooper, right? He did 725 yards, 53 receptions with no offseason with Dak. Now, a lot of people like to say he made Dak. I don't know if you want to say and just step out on that limb, because all you got to do is go look at his production under Carr. It was not even close to what he did with Dak. So let's just say it right. First of all, they made each other. That's number one. Both of those guys are talented, Dak and Cooper. Both of those guys helped each other's career. It wasn't no one made the other. It wasn't that. No, both of those guys made each other. But Cooper was number one in the league on the second half of the season in yardage. And remember, that was not with a lot of snaps. Now, this is what I use a lot. I suggest you use this, especially if you're trying to look at snap counts and stuff like that, because it'll give you a real good picture of what's going on. So this here is 2018 wide receiver snap counts. Okay, so let me make this a little bit better for y'all. And as you can see, I have to the left, you can see the players, and to the right you can see the percentages. At the top is DeAndre Hopkins. You can see literally he was in the game 99% of snaps. The guy under him was in the game 96.8% of snaps. The guy under him was in the game 96.5% of snaps. So all the top receivers, if you go look at all the top receivers at that time, according to percentages of the snaps, they stayed on the field. If you looking for Amari, every year, guess what you're going to have to do? Scroll down. Because Amari, you're not going to see Amari till you get way on down there. And finally, this is his best year, y'all. This is his best year with us, or one of his best years. Amari Cooper, 74.4. So I said 80% of snaps on that video. I was actually wrong. It was 74% of snaps. I must have misread a stat or something. 74. And if you look at, I got it for each year. 2019, it was like that, right? You can look at, I'm going to do it again. I'm only do it one more time, but I can do it each time. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of data, but if you go here to lineups, right, and you click on receivers and team snap percentages, you'll see all the top receivers pretty much stayed in the game. Every year you looking for Cooper in percentages of snaps, you got to scroll down. You got to scroll down, and then you'll see Amari Cooper again at the bottom in the game, only 75% of the time. So a lot of people talking about targets. What a lot of people also not talking about is the percentages of the snaps that he was in the game. So, and this is another thing that's gonna piss you off. You might not be pissed off, because a lot of people, they believe everything that the Joneses tell them. I don't know why, but if they just say it, they just believe it. But this is evidence right here, because look, you can go look yourself. You can go right behind me, and you can go look at Amari and all these good years, right? All the good years, still he was in the game only about 74% of the time. So this is another sad fact. that I'm going to give everybody. This is a horrible, sad fact that I'm finna give everybody. The sad fact is this. Amari Cooper was way underutilized in his best years, even with Dallas. And Stephen Jones has been committed to receiver by committee. That's why we seeing it even under Kellen Moore. That's why we still seeing it. That's why they talking about this system. Because he's always wanted to go cheap. Just think about it. Remember, he said it would have took what? An act of Congress. He said it took an act of Congress to even sign Amari. Now, we was 3-5. Our receiver core was on record after the first 8 games of being dead last in average separation per target. Dead last. And it still took, according to Stephen Jones, an act of Congress to make the trade for Amari Cooper. So, this is what I'm going to tell y'all. This is actually bigger than Amari. This problem is not even just about Amari. This is about philosophy. This is about a dead, broken, dumb philosophy that they're committed to. And this is the worst part that I'm going to tell y'all about the trend that I noticed when I was looking at this data. You know the saddest part on this trend? Guess what else you will see if you really follow this close and look at this. Go do it behind me. Go to lineups, go to snaps, click on receiver, which is going to be right here in the middle. Then go to the right side and click on team percentage of snaps. It's going to rank them. Then you'll see a clear picture of what I'm getting ready to tell you. What I'm getting ready to tell you is going to shock you. Guess what the Rams did? The Rams ramped up Cooper Kupp's percentages of snaps on the field. They made the adjustment that we did not do. So if you go look at Cooper Kupp, you go look at it for yourself, you'll see there was a time that they was kind of like a receiver by committee as well, to where Cooper Kupp was in the game around 74 to 75% of the time. But over time, they said, you know what? Let's leave him on the field. And when they did that, they left him on the field and they targeted him. And you got what you got. The best offensive player in the league. So for all these dummies that you're hearing, because I'm hearing a lot of dumb talk, especially on local radio, where they saying stuff like Amari Cooper is not a top receiver. No, he's a top receiver. He just needs to get out of a dumb system. Mark my words. If the Joneses don't control where he goes and he picks his location, Amari Cooper is going to do 1,200 to 1,400 yards next year. Mark my words, because he go pick the right place with the right quarterback, with the right system, with the right OC. And he go show that this was dumb. This whole idea of committee is dumb. The only people that was able to successfully do this is New England. And all these teams that's trying to copy New England's model, you're not New England. In play calling, in discipline, it's too much politics in Dallas. You can't do what New England does because you don't have the discipline of New England. New England actually don't throw their best players under the bus. New England does not use the media for leverage on their players. They just handle football decisions. So stop trying to copy what other teams are going to do unless you're going to fully copy them. So if you're going to try to copy New England's receiver by committee, copy them on also being quiet and not being a distraction to your own team, because that's what it's going to take. So, and I got another video that's coming out. Y'all stay on the lookout for it. This one gonna be fire too, because I'm gonna tell you something. The Dallas Cowboys, I'm telling you, and I'm gonna prove it, would not have won the Super Bowl with this committee. It would not have. I'm gonna prove it, and I'm gonna prove it from their own mouth. Also with the film, we would not have won the Super Bowl if we would have been sitting there like the Rams. We would have lost with their receiver by committee or with our current system. So yeah, obviously we've already painted the picture and showed clearly over and over, especially if you go to lines, because my boy Law, he always said, boss, did you talk about the amount of games played? Well, this all you really got to do. We can talk about the amount of games played, or we can just look at the average, right, of targets. So this is 2021. Cooper Kupp, remember, they ramped him up. They ramped his targets up. Cooper Kupp in 2021 averaged the most targets. Is it a coincidence why he also had the most production? Devontae Adams also was under him, averaged the most targets at 10.6. Is it a coincidence that he was second? So when you go look at the commitment to targeting your guys, you also see the production that comes with it. So we don't have to just kiss up to the Joneses by saying, Boss Cowboy, did you look at how many games those guys played? No, we can look at the average targets per game, which takes all of that into account in an average. And it's obvious this is likely being pushed down. Receiver by committee. So when you see the fact that they hinting that they want to let go of Amari, what's going on is this is a deeper commitment to a Scrooge philosophy. They trying to find ways to save on that cap with systems, and it's exactly what the playmaker warned about. Because the playmaker, you can call Boss Cowboy conspiracy theories, that's fine. If you want to try to get clout on Boss Cowboy and the OC and all that kind of stuff, yeah, you can talk on my name, but you can't talk on the playmaker name, who also said exactly what I'm saying. And what he said exactly, he said these owners are trying to go to a system to get systems to beat athletes. That is what we dealing with. And that's why I got it wrong on the end part when I said, Scott Linehan, you son.
A cheap plug real quick, especially since
I said, Scott Linehan, you, because I thought it was Scott Linehan. It wasn't. It wasn't. So the sad part is this, and I'm out after this. The sad part is this. Kellen Moore, it might even be a better play caller if he wasn't been meddled with. See, I'm not just calling out Kellen Moore no more, because I used to just point at him. But now that I went through history and I listened and I looked at what we were saying then, and I looked at what was happening then, and I put it together. Yeah, this is exactly what the playmaker was talking about. So y'all stay, man. Listen, I'ma spend all off season attacking this system. I'ma attack it until they change it, because we would be delusional to really think this system is gonna carry us to the promised land. This system is only good enough to carry us to the playoffs. This is not a promised land system. And I'm gonna prove that on the next video. So y'all stay up with Boss Cowboy Sports.